Matt, I'm delighted to be here with you to talk about what it means to be a successful startup CEO. But I'm curious, you run a 400-person organization, you got to be an incredibly busy guy. Why are you writing this book and doing this class?
Well, I spent a bunch of time over, not so much all 14 years of Return Path, but the last 9 or 10, writing a blog about the experience of being a startup CEO. And I realized at some point that there's a real gap in business literature around how to scale a business, the practicalities of scaling a business. So there are lots of books around product market fit these days and the lean startup and customer development, how to get a product off the ground. There's some very good books about how to finance your business in lots of different ways. But there's very little out there that teaches you how to be a CEO. If you become the CEO of GE or GM, you've been groomed for that job for 20 years. You've been a division head and a group president and a this and a that. But if you're doing it for the first time and you're in your 20s or you're in your 30s and you don't have that range of experience to draw on, there is no kind of field guide or instruction manual out there. So that's really how the book was designed and how the course is designed as well. It's kind of it's the thing that I wish someone had given me on my first day on the job.
So tell us a little bit about, what are the things that are in that gap? So what are the key topics that we're going to be talking about here in this class?
The organizing framework for the book actually came out of a blog post that one of my board members, Fred Wilson, wrote a few years ago, where he says CEOs have 3 jobs: setting strategy and vision, recruiting and leading a team, and making sure there's enough cash in the bank. And that was a good starting point for kind of organizing the outline for the book and for the course. But as I got into it a little bit, I realized that there's a little more to it than that. So both the book and the course are really divided up into 5 sections. So the first one is about setting vision and strategy, but it's more than just setting the vision and strategy. It's about communicating, and it's about you, the startup CEO, are really the salesperson in chief. You are the communicator in chief. It is up to you not just to set the vision, but to tell that story over and over and over again, and in different ways to different audiences to inspire them. Whether you're inspiring your team, you're inspiring people to come join the team, inspiring investors to give you money, inspiring customers to buy the product. It's really about telling that story in a compelling way. The second section of the book is about people, about human capital, about talent. And it's everything around building a team and interviewing and promoting people and compensating people and even firing people. So it's sort of the how-to around culture and team building. The third section is not only about making sure there's enough money in the bank, although that's certainly part of it, and there are a couple of chapters about financing the business. But running the company is much more than just making sure there's gas in the tank. Execution is really where the rubber meets the road. It's what turns your vision into the reality of the business. So the third segment of both the book and the course is around execution as well as financing. And that's really some of the nitty-gritty stuff about running the company. It's how you do meetings and how you create a learning organization and how you do a budget and how you do a forecast. Some really very specific things like that. So those were the 3 things around sort of Fred's organizing principles. But as I thought about it, I felt like there were 2 other really important topics to cover. One is about building and leading a board of directors. And while the first 3 segments, and also, as you'll hear in a minute, the 5th segment of the book, are broadly applicable to people other than the CEO, right? Execution is an important discipline for anyone in business, and vision and storytelling as well. Building and leading a board of directors is a really unique aspect of the CEO's job, for which, again, there's no school you go to for it, and there's no instruction manual for it. But it's a really important thing to get right for the health and longevity of your business. And then finally, we end the course with a section on self-management. And self-management may not seem on the surface like an important thing to learn or important discipline to have around building and running and scaling an organization. But I think it is, and my theory has always been, if you can't manage yourself, if you can't keep yourself on track and sort of keep your own act together, how are you going to do that for 10 people or 50 people or 100 people? So we end, in some ways, with some foundational work around how you think about managing your own life.
Now, to set some expectations about what's going to happen with this class, each of these videos are going to have a particular format where I'm going to ask Matt some questions about his book. We're going to cover some of the high-level motivations and some of the concrete examples in each chapter. But it's going to be, if you will, a taste, and there's more detail and more information in the actual book itself, which will also be part of this class. So there's the videos, there's the book, and there's going to be maybe some other reading material, and there's going to be some exercises. So you'll get a chance to actually take these concepts and apply them in your context. So Matt, I guess I'd like to end with, what do you hope students in this class get out of this?
You know, I hope anyone that reads the book or takes the class, whether you're an entrepreneur, startup CEO yourself, or whether it's just something that you're thinking about doing in your life, I hope you come away from this with two things. One is a sense of what to go do and a sense that you're not alone. Even though being a CEO can be a lonely job sometimes, just in the construct of your organization, there's only one of you, there are lots and lots of people that have gone through that journey. So I hope you get a lot out of the content, and I hope you get, again, a good sense that there is a brotherhood or a fellowship of CEOs out there. And the second thing that I hope to inspire all of you to do, taking this course, is to pay it forward and to spend some time, some portion of your time, mentoring other CEOs and giving them the benefit of your experience and your learnings over the years.